Hey, Chad Hymas here. Welcome to this week's Roll with Safety Tip. Welcome back. Glad to have all of you here with us during this holiday season. Merry Christmas to those of you that celebrate Christmas. Happy Hanukkah to those of you that celebrate the Hanukkah season. Whatever your faith and your belief is, I hope that you enjoy this holiday season and the new year. Today's message is very, very near and dear to my heart. It is hand safety and protection and how important these 10 digits are on the ends of our limbs and what we use them for, and what you and I can do to protect the dexterity, the muscle tone, the pigment color, those things that you and I take for granted, that I think that we take for granted. It's amazing what you hold sacred when you lose it. And I lost all 10 of my fingers in my hands due to lack of accountability. Perhaps housekeeping was a part of that, and definitely just an FLRA, just a simple field level risk assessment, and managing the risks that were associated with that hazard. So what can you and I do with our hands that will allow us to keep all 10 of them as we put up Christmas lights and enjoy that season, or decorate the house during this time of season, or help make a simple dish for our spouse, or how about actually holding his or her hand? Something that I can't do any of the above or aforementioned that I just talked about. I can't feel her hand when I touch it. So how do we maintain that? And what can you and I do? What behavior can you and I do to actually take good care of these? A couple things that I'd just like to throw your way. Number one, be willing to get them dirty for somebody else. Now, when I say dirty, I'm not talking about the dirt on the product that we work with, or dirt from the ground, or dirt from the tires on my wheelchair. I'm asking you to be proactive and go up and shake somebody's hand and let them know that they probably don't have their shields up, where we're going to have to put gloves on, or it takes that communication. That's getting your hands dirty for the people. Shaking somebody's hand is getting your hands dirty for other people. That would be a principle number one that I would ask you to consider. Remember, it probably will be a little bit awkward at first when you're asking somebody to stop texting while they're driving, or to not drink and drive during the holiday season, or any season for that matter. Those are awkward situations, but you take the risk of somebody getting hurt if you choose not to do that. So I identify all those things by saying get your hands dirty. Number two, I would ask you to take a hard look at the areas around you. Make sure you have the proper tools in place, that the cords aren't frayed. Make sure that your tools are up to date. You do have the proper shielding and proper guards in place to protect those hands. And remember just the simple rule of hand usage. You really don't have much at all unless you're using your 10 fingers. In other words, if I were to ask you, if I were to take off your hands and ask you to place a value on that, a lot of you, and then say go drive without any hands, or put on a pair of pants without any hands, or go fishing or hunting without any hands, you'd probably say that your hands are worth quite a bit. I want you to give your hands a lot of value, but don't put all the value on your hands. Put more value on the opportunity to prevent people from getting hurt, and we'll take care of our hands and all 10 fingers. The last thing I want to mention before I close this puppy out is the injury that took place in Oakland. All of our eyes have been on Oakland this past week as the warehouse caught on fire, and the firefighter that went in and lost his whole arm and 2 of his fingers on his other side because of lack of a risk assessment. Don't want to share that with you to judge the firefighter. God bless him for being willing to do what he does and save other people's lives. But that said, a simple housekeeping issue would have taken care of that. Or really, I mean, this was not a rescue. This was a recovery effort. And so it wasn't like they were necessarily in a hurry. The fire had been out for 2 days, and we have now a firefighter due to lack of identifying a hazard, and this whole squad for that matter. We all take accountability for that. We all got to own up to that. We have one of our firemen that's lost his arm and lost a couple of fingers, and what a story to pay close attention to, and happened just 2 weeks before the holiday season. That's got to be tough. Let's make sure we take care of all 10 of these, and both of our hands and our arms, so that we can play catch with our loved ones, and go fishing and enjoy those things that God gave us to enjoy with our families. Enjoy the holiday season. I'll be in touch with you all next week. Until then, roll with safety. This is Chad Hymas signing off.